Has the memory gone? Are you feeling numb? Not a word they say, but a voiceless crowd isn't backing down when the air turns red with a loaded hesitation. Can you say my name? Has the memory gone? Are you feeling numb? Have we all become invisible?
Spatial awareness and how immersion creates community. Spatial awareness is the psychological sequence of losing sense of self and becoming completely engulfed in the game. Also, immersion is more of the act of being surrounded by said game, for example, audio or sound cues. If you haven't heard of Helldivers 2, you have to have been under a rock or off of TikTok, but in case you haven't, I'll explain. Helldivers 2 is a game where you play as a soldier of Super Earth. You start off going through training camp, then after doing that, you go amongst the stars to fight in the Galactic War. The way the game works is you land on planets to do these missions and complete a campaign. These campaigns are usually the missions which, once completed, add to the bar that you have to fill to completely liberated planet. In the game, Helldivers fight against two races. One is the Automatons, and the other one is the Terminids. The Terminids is a bug race that flies to different planets and have overran a few. They have a few different variants of bugs for you to fight, which is what adds challenge to the levels. The harder the level, the more variants there are to the enemies. On the other hand, we have the Automatons, who are a race of robots who are fighting against the Helldivers on their side of the galaxy. And you, as a Helldiver, have to use everything in your arsenal to fight against them. This leads me to spatial awareness. It is said to give one's being to a game, they have to be able to suspend belief to be into the plot of the game. For example, in Helldivers, you are fighting imaginary creatures, but when you suspend belief, you think they are a real threat to Super Earth. With the first box checked, next comes level of detail. The level of detail in this game is what makes me feel as if I am a citizen of Super Earth, giving my life just to defend the future of the planet. The game does a great job of attention to detail. Not only does the game do a good job of making the player feel as if they are fighting in a grueling war on both fronts by using the liberation bar of a planet to remind you of the task that is set upon you, but the game also does a good job of making me feel I am fighting against a real sentient being. In game, you can catch many automatons doing patrols or marches. They often march among the fields of a planet, singing their war songs of the automaton race. This is what causes spatial awareness to be achieved. In the readings, it is said that to achieve spatial awareness, things must be consistent and able to be related to the real world. They make the automatons feel as if they are a force trying to intimidate their foes. Some of the automatons even exemplify this by wearing human skulls for decoration to scare foes, which to me is a small but yet essential detail. In the readings, it is said that what causes spatial awareness is a small attention to detail. For example, being able to buy a candy bar in GTA 5. It is something small, but when incorporated, it makes the player feel as if they were in the real world. The same can be said for this game. In many wars in history, people have decorated themselves in the body of dead enemies. This minute detail shows me just how cool the automatons are and makes it all that much more personal for me to crush their forces. After this comes immersion. The Helldivers community has become completely immersed into the role of a soldier giving your life to Super Earth. Many times when you get off the game after hours of warfare, you go into TikTok and see war updates about the current status of sectors, thus adding an extra layer of immersion due to the game following you beyond just the headset. You are constantly receiving updates and see your fellow Helldivers give their all in the war effort. This game does a good job of making the community feel like one unit united under the same mission, which is spread democracy to the galaxy, which helps the community feel like it's breathing all the same breath. which leads me to my outro. This game does a good job of integrating community, making you feel immersed and a part of the same team. It takes everything about war, semi flips it on its head by adding a bit of comedy, but is grounded in reality, which helps people be immersed, and which is why you see a lot of people on TikTok and communities around the world just being involved in this game. And it also has revived dead games as well, or dead communities. This game capitalizes upon many psychological aspects of the brain when it comes to video games. And that's why this game is so successful.